Hi boys and girls, I know today's classes were awfully short for this lesson that we did, which was a little complicated, so I thought I'd share a video with you. This video is just focusing on the two different ways you can find volume of rectangular prism. So I'm going to show you two different ways. The first method is probably the easiest method and one that I would be most comfortable with, and I think most of you would be too. So remember what volume is. Volume is the number of unit cube that you could use to pack this rectangular prism. So we could use a formula length times width, which would actually represent the area of the base here, or the bottom layer as I called it today. So we could do 10 times 4, which is 40, times your 6 layers. And 40 times 6 is 240. Since we're looking for the volume, you need to label it in units cubed. Remember what I said about today. It's 3D geometry. To think of 3D, you use the exponent 3. That's one way. That's it. The second method, which is a little complicated, but you can check your work, especially when you're dealing with measurements that are not whole numbers. This is a great way to check to see if your volume is correct. First, you could determine the number of cubes that fit across the length, width, and height of a rectangular prism. So if you look at the top of the page, if I need to pack in half-inch cubes into this prism, I want to know how many half-inch by half-inch by half-inch cube would fit in this rectangular prism. To do that, you could determine the number of cubes that fit across the length. So if you have 10 inches, how many half-inches would fit in 10 inches? You would just need to double it to make 20 cubes, because 2 half-inch cubes can fit into 1-inch cube. So here, for 4 inches, how many half-inch cubes will fit in 4 inches? If you double it, you can say 8 cubes. For the 6 inches, how many half-inch cubes can fit in 6 inches? 12 cubes. To determine the total number of cube, we're then going to use the volume formula, length times width times height. So 12 times 8 times 20 to calculate the number of cube. Well, I know 12 times 8 is 96, and 96 times 2 is 192, but it's times 20, so 1,920 cube. Now we can calculate the volume of each unit cube. Well, each unit cube is 1/2 by 1/2 by 1/2. Just going to label this for you. So 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, which equals 1 over 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So each unit cube volume equals 1/8 inches cubed. So if you have 1,920 cubes, each with a volume of 1/8, how could you calculate the total number, total volume of this? So again, if you have 1,920 cubes and a total of, with each with a volume of 1/8, what could you do? Mathematically, you can then multiply the total number of cubes, which is 1,920, by 1/8. That over 1. So essentially, we're going to do 1,920 over 1 times 8 is 8. If you divide 1,920 by 8, you will also get 240 inches cubed like we did above. So I'm feeling pretty confident that we got the right volume because both methods have the same answer. I hope this was able to help you.